basically be folding them to about 3 inches. And so the most important thing that we did in direct mail, or I never did it, but the principals back then were when they pulled that out of the envelope, they wanted, first of all, that fold opened from right from where you opened it, and then when you open it up, that's what we're doing on your website, right? That's what we call above the fold, right? And this is the most prime, as you said, the most prime real estate that we have. And then I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to show you something here that's going to make this all clear. Let's right click. I'm going to click inspect. And now I'm going to do this looking at it on a mobile phone, right? This is an iPhone 12 Pro. I can see different types of phones, but an iPhone 12 Pro is pretty good. And so see what we're doing here is we have this. This hasn't been optimized for mobile, this alert bar. It should have been made smaller so it still stays as an alert bar. And now we're taking your logo here, and which is just for branding, right? And it's competing with the most important thing, the benefit statement that we're giving to the user. So what we want to do is get rid of that logo, if anything. Okay. Now again, this is screenshot software, so you have to bear with me on how this is going to look here. But we want to do something usually like this. Maybe put your logo here like that. Now you need to get a transparent logo so it'll look good on a yellow background, a black background, or whatever the case is. Well, look what we just did right there. That allows us to take all of this section right here and move it up just like that. All right, and then that gives us a lot more real estate, especially when we go to mobile. All right, so that's number one. So let's get back to the website here. Let's critique the landing page. Learn how you can take an unfair advantage. I think we could do better with that, right? But let's just read it. Learn how you can take an unfair advantage of book publishing secrets that only the top speakers and coaches use to increase their income and get more clients. So I'm going to bring Donna on here as well. But the first thing that we're going to do before we do this, and don't take any offense to what I'm saying, there's an expression in our industry, putting lipstick on a pig, right? And what that means is, if it's not the best headline, even if it's just good, right? We want to get great. We want world class. We're not messing around here. So sometimes the mistake that we make is we try to put lipstick on this rather than going back to the top and saying, hey, what are we trying to achieve here? So help me break this down. What are we saying here? So there's an unfair advantage of book publishing secrets. Okay, so you have the secrets that only top speakers and coaches use, all right, to increase their income and get more clients, right? So I think we can do a little bit better here. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. I've got on another thing over here, I've got 10 different headline formulas that I've got, but we're going to start with the one that is just really simple for us all to use. I'm going to open up a text editor here. Okay, and so let's get into the mind of the user. What is the promised land? What is it, without thinking headlines, what is it that we want to promise the user that after a certain amount of time they're going to get? Now, if you remember the other day, we were talking with some people when we were done. She said, wow, that's a really long headline. It was, because we didn't go back and condense it, but that was part of the exercise. So let's talk about the promised land for the user. What are they going to get? And even if it's 3 different things, that's okay.
Well, they're going to get credibility. They're going to be looked upon as the authority. They have prestige. They're seen in the top 1% of speakers.
So they get brand status with credibility, authority, right, prestige. That's one thing. What else is going to tickle their pickle that they're going to want to work with you and pay you money?
They're going to have a book that as they can also use as another stream of income. They could also use that as a way to get their message out, whether they're going speaking and coaching.
Okay.
So basically, as rather than having to sit down with every client and spend an hour and a half trying to describe what they can do, they can just hand them a book, for example.
Okay. A
Um,
book is a business card.
right.
Okay. And just real quick here, how long does it take if they paid you today? When do they get their published book?
So the process that I take them through, it's typically runs about 90 days.
In 90 days. Okay.
Yeah.
And they have to have they at least need to have an idea for a book, maybe an
Right.
outline. Okay.
So I actually coach them through the process of writing it as well. So outlining the book, getting it written, how to put it all together.
So if I wanted to
And
be an author,
mhm,
and I've been talking about it for 2, 3 years, I want to write a book. I want to write a book. It might be on this, it might be on that.
right.
If I start working with you after my first call, January 1st, by April
Mhm.
1st, I should have my hardcover book done. Now, do you mean it's done in a Word doc, or do you mean it's published?
I
And
mean, it's
I have a
published
hard, I have
in
a
the
hard.
hardcover physical form in your hands.
Okay, great. Uh, John, do you get involved in any type of, there are some people that say, "I will make you a best-selling author." Do
No,
you
I
get
don't,
involved in that?
because that's a load of crap. Nobody can nobody can promise that.
Not
But
anymore, not these days.
yeah,
They
so
want actual people buying from
right,
individual IPs. They don't want people buying 10,000 books and then handing them away at their live events,
right.
right?
So
Okay. All right, so great. So you become a published author, and so let's start with that first, right? Because
okay,
this that I just deleted is a side effect. This is
hmm
this is what happens when you become an author. Now let's talk about some other things here. On this page, are you focusing only on the book? Because when we first started talking, you were talking about getting people on stage.
right. So I am talking about the book because that is the vehicle that's used to be able to get that credibility and authority to land those higher paid speaking events.
Okay, so this gives you credibility, authority, and prestige. Dot dot dot. So that you can, let's just put here, land top paying speaking gigs and be seen as a leader in your industry. Right? So this isn't a headline. This is us talking about the promised land.
hmm
That they're going to how to become a published author in 90 days, so that you can land blah 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 blah. And we can even put this here through credibility, authority, and prestige. Right. That's sort of a good headline right there. So I'm going to do something that we've been playing around with here because, uh, as we know, with ChatGPT,
Okay.
you have an account with them yet, John?
Yeah, I played around with it a little bit.
Yeah. So let's just type in here. Um, uh, turn these bullets into a headline for my landing page consulting business. And then we're going to just put a colon, a quote, and paste what we had right there. And let's see if this ChatGPT can just make our life a little bit easier and turn this into a headline. Give me 5 more. All right, so we took this brainstorming session that we had right here. Did you find
hmm
this useful, John?
Yes. hmm
Okay. Right? It's condensing it down, getting these bullet points, and then we threw in. Let's take a look at the very first one that we got. And it says, become a published author and boost your credibility, authority, and prestige in just 90 days. Well, that's pretty good. All right. Next, here I said, give me 5 more. Transform your expertise. Notice we didn't even talk about that. That's the beautiful thing about AI, is it's understanding what's going on here. It's not just some type of rewriting software that's changing pronouns and adjectives and synonyms. It's actually understanding what your business is. And that's why I put in here in my question, I said for my landing page consulting, right? So transform your expertise into a hardcover book and elevate your professional standing in 90 days. Establish yourself as a thought leader with a published book in 90 days. Achieve credibility, authority, and prestige as a published author in 90 days. Publish your book, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click share. What's really nice about this is that now you can share these different things, so I don't have to copy.
John, are you having trouble hearing Mike, or is that me?
I'm having trouble hearing him.
Yeah, okay. Mike, you froze. I don't know if you can hear me. Mike is frozen. You froze, Mike. I can hear him trying to unfreeze. Unfortunately, I can't help because I don't know what he was about to say, and he's completely frozen. So, have you played with ChatGPT yet? Oh, yeah, he just bounced,
yeah.
so he's probably restarting. Yeah, it is amazing. It is redefining how we're doing a lot of things here. It takes a lot less time to write now. I still think that what they produce needs editing, definitely for truthfulness, because sometimes they get it wrong. We've noticed we've been asking it to write a tutorial for things like how to animate a button in Groove, and sometimes it will say that the panel is on the left, and sometimes it will say it's on the right. Like little things like that, they don't quite get right all the time. So definitely, if you're having AI do something, Mike just sent me a text message that said he needs to reboot. So we're just gonna hang out for a little while while we wait for Mike to reboot.
Okay.
This is live. That's how you know it's live. Yeah, but I think that we are really going to incorporate using it to write more copy for our pages. We have a long list of all of the features of things that Groove does. It's something like 500 items long, and we're going to start using it to do the basic first draft copy for all of those pages, and then we can have a human review and edit and improve. Are you using it in your business at all?
Not presently, no.
Lewis said, I've been hooked on ChatGPT since last week. He was a funnel makeover from last week, and using it to improve your site. Yeah, it's amazing. It writes as well as I do, if not better. I'll give it that. I'll say at least not better. And you're very welcome, Lewis. It was great to have you on. This Facebook user said Mike was just dropping too much knowledge and overwhelmed the servers. He doesn't get the best internet connection there. So I think that's probably part of it, but he's rebooting his whole computer now. He was having some tech challenges with his camera before we got started. I am happy to have you, and I know I just reached out to you yesterday to see if you could make this, so I'm really, really glad that you had the room in your scheduling to be with us today.
Yes.
We've got some more ChatGPT fans here. Dan Feliciano is loving it, and starting with Eric says needs to incorporate it into Groove. We are actually working on that. We are working on how to create a like a headline builder in Groove, so that while you're right in there in Groove pages, it can help you with some copy. So it is definitely. I certainly think that we haven't seen the last of the powerful stuff that AI can do when it comes to writing. Sultan is throwing me a bone here. Thank you, Sultan. Sultan said, well, Mike is out. I have a question on how to come up with a good headline, which is great because I need something to talk about. It's very difficult for me to just talk about nothing. How to come up with a good headline? Well, the first thing I can say is search. Just do a Google search for good headlines. There are so many compilations of great headlines, and just start reading them and go, how do I apply that to me? So there might be one of the classic headlines is, they thought I couldn't play the piano, but when I sat down at the keyboard, ... Just a fantastic, famous headline from old school marketing days. And how could you take that headline and apply it to your business? So we'll just work together, John. The headline, they thought I couldn't play the piano, and then I sat down at the keyboard, ... seems like it could be very, very easily incorporated into your business. How would you rewrite it for you?
Sat down at the piano. Run that by me again.
Yeah, it was a piano headline. They thought I couldn't play the piano, but then I sat down at the keyboard and ...
I don't know.
So they thought I couldn't write a book.
Right. Okay.
And then I handed them my copy ... or handed them the book. So that's how you come up with a good headline. Is you look at these formulas that have been around forever and sit there and really think, how can I apply it? Which is the highest and most difficult level of thinking that there is. Lateral thinking is the most complicated thinking that we have as humans. We get tunnel vision, and just like John did, I mean, I couldn't have spoon-fed it to you more, John. I used the word keyboard, and it would have been very, very easy. But one, he's on the spot right now, live on a chat in front of people. But two, is that requires lateral thinking, where you're taking the same concept and that works for something else and applying it to you. That's why masterminds are so important, because it's really, really hard for us as humans to see what someone else is doing and figure out how to do it in our business. And that's what a mastermind does for you. If we take a look at what someone else is doing and then say, okay, this is working, how do you apply it to yourself? So I was just banting, Mike. We're talking about coming up with good headlines thanks to Sultan.
Yeah, no, I see the chat blowing up, so people are loving whatever happened so far there. So yeah, fill me in. What did I heard you walking through an exercise?
Yeah, we were talking about Sultan asked, how do you come up with a good headline? I said, well, first of all, great question. Thank you for giving me something to talk about while Mike wasn't here. And I suggested just searching and finding other headlines that have performed well, and then sitting and going through an exercise of how does this apply to my business. And pretty much every headline could. They might not all be great, and you'll know it. You know, if it wasn't if it's not a good fit, and you try to make it fit to your business, you'll read the headline and go, no, it's not moving me. But yeah, that's definitely the biggest leapfrog into getting an easy headline is take one of these headline formulas that's out there in the world.
Absolutely. There's and let me tell you something else that there should be no shame in as well. So the term has kind of shifted in the industry over the last 10 years to mean something that you give your affiliates, right? So they can send email. We call it swipe copy. But swipe copy, as an affiliate, is just it's a derivative of what actually happened originally. Copywriters used to have something called a swipe file, right? And there's a digital version of that. But the swipe file used to be that when you were in direct response and you would do advertising, you would see your competitors and you'd be like, oh, damn, that's a good headline. And you'd rip it out and you'd put it into a folder, and you had like folders of all of these great ads. And when it was time to come up with a new ad, what you would do is you'd open up your drawer and pull out swipe style and pull out like 6 or 7 different styles of either a letter or advertorial or whatever. And it was a starting point. And so one of the things that we want to make sure that we do, and we're going to do this live right now, is we want to make sure that we are swiping. And when I say swipe, I mean getting inspiration from the leaders in the industry, right? If you're in health and wellness or personal development or whatever, and let's say Alex Hormozy is a leader in your industry or one of the leaders, you want to go to his website and see, how does his site look? What colors are he using beyond his brand? And what I mean by colors, is he using a light theme or dark theme? In certain industries, there are certain colors, that tend to follow, right? In leadership, women industries, you're seeing usually a white, light website with the colors of pink and fuchsia and purple and different things like that. And so I'm going to ask you here, who's the number one person in your industry that you're competing with right
That I'm competing with?
now? Yeah, who does what you do and they're crushing it?
I don't know exactly, because I do something that's different than, because there's a lot of other, I mean, it's not traditional publishing and it's not a hybrid publishing. And so what I do is I actually coach people through a self-publishing process of putting a team together to get their hardcover book published. So it's not
self-publishing coach.
I mean, I guess the closest that I can think of might be, let's see, what's the guy's name? He wrote Copywriting Secrets. Can't think of his name, but he basically
Jim
talks
Edwards?
about, Jim Edwards. So Jim Edwards actually has a program where he teaches people basically how to write a book in 7 days. But
He's had that for a long time. That was a
Yeah.
quick thing back in 2002.
yeah, so he teaches people how to do that, but that's not the same thing that I'm doing, because what he's teaching them to do is write a book, get it published on Amazon. And what I'm teaching people to do is to actually get it through a renowned printer that's actually printing it in hardcover with a dust jacket, which you can't do on Amazon.
You're drilling down a niche, a little bit right there. So
Right.
I think his is called 7-Day ebook, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Look, he's very direct response right here, but I got to tell you, I love what he's got right here. It's very, very simple. Let me just go like this and click here. Okay, he didn't do a very, very good job either on optimizing this for mobile, probably because it's built on ClickFunnels. It's a little harder to do that there. But let's take a look at what he's doing here. Now, I'm not crazy about this, but this is what he's pushing here. Right now, it includes Kindle, right? So let's look at his headline: How to write. This is what you basically said that you were saying. Write, publish, and sell your own. Look at what else he's adding in here. He's implying there's something that we call the benefit of the benefit. And he has that nailed down completely here. I went off the page here so I can explain this. Have you ever heard the benefit of the benefit?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So the benefit of the benefit is something that you can achieve sometimes by just saying so that you can. And I sometimes talk about the benefit of the benefit going back into my time in the car business days. There's feature, advantage, benefit, and then there's the benefit of the benefit. So back in the day, Toyota, Camry, following Mercedes, were one of the first people to have airbag sensors that when they touched, the airbag went off. And they went to gold sensors, right? So that's a feature. There's an advantage and there's a benefit. The feature is that it's a gold electrode. The advantage is it doesn't rust, right? So the benefit is the airbag is always going to go off even 5, 6, or 7 years from now. So that's feature, advantage, benefit. What's the benefit of that benefit?
It saves lives.
It's going to save your daughter's life when you buy this car, Mr. Jones, right? So that's the benefit of the benefit. So now when we go back to this right here, we're seeing that he's giving you a benefit. Write, publish, and sell. Well, write and publish your own ebook, but he throws in here outrageously profitable ebook. Now, when we talk about, oh my goodness, he is literally following our headline formula. Nothing that I invented. I should say my favorite headline formula. It's the really, really good without the really, really bad. This, I gotta give Jim, by the way, Jim is a friggin' copywriter anyway, but this is a damn good headline. He's using the quotes here, man. This guy, like, he's going old school here. He's even probably using the impact font or one of those fonts. So one of the things is how to achieve an incredible benefit in a certain amount of time. And then that's the really good without the really bad. Even if you can't write, you can't type, and failed high school English class. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a world-class headline. Absolutely. And so if and John, what we're doing with you, this isn't just you and me in a vacuum here. We're doing this so that everybody can learn from this, right? So what we're doing here is the thing that I want people taking notes to understand is, what did we do? I Googled your competitor so that we could find out who is a guy in our industry that knows what he's doing, is crushing, and is driving traffic. Now, you're going to notice something here. Number one, this is at a URL that is very, very good for SEO, right? I think I told you to put it at /apply. I think I was wrong there. I think that you should put it at /benefit. He took this and he put it into a URL. Write your book in 7 days, right? He didn't put a whole headline there. And so now if we go to 7dayebook.com, I'm curious if over the years, if he turned that into a brand website or if it's still a landing page. Oh, it's still redirects. Okay. So it's the same page that redirected. So let's take a look at what he's doing. Remember I said you should probably have video on this page. We're going to click here. This is what's known as a modern day ugly VSL. So I'm wondering if he's literally going to just be reading this, which is a very new technique that people are using. So I'm just going to see if he actually just does this right here. But you guys don't hear it because I don't have my speakers piping through here. But basically what he says here, he's just reading this. Attention everyone, in his voice, who wants to write your first or next ebook. Another important thing right there, you see what he did right there? Your first or next ebook. Because if you say write your first ebook, you're disqualifying everybody. Oh, he's only teaching you. This course isn't for me. He's going to spend all this time on the basics, and I've already written 3 books. I just, can't. They're not getting me speaking gigs. So this is really brilliant. And then he's got basically a sales letter underneath here. Now, the thing that I would probably see that's going on here is this is a different call to action than you. I'm going to hold my command key down so we open this in a new window. Shift menu. He has the order form right here on the page. So he's asking for $37. So we got to understand what's going on here. This is a ClickBank style long form sales page. Yours isn't going to be like this because you're not selling $37. You're telling people to book a call with you. So your copy, your page, in my opinion, should be more like this here with the apply button, and then a little bit of about you for credibility, right? So your page should look more like this, and then right underneath this section, you should just have your about John, and then a secondary call to action, and then some testimonials, right?